Hello and welcome to tutorial 184, and one of the Markplex users said to me or asked me how you would go about changing or turning tutorial 173 into a strategy. So what I've done is created a very simple strategy draft framework using that tutorial. And if you remember, tutorial 173 was the Markplex take on a stop and reverse, and I just changed it a little bit by adding an acceleration factor to the line. You can see that the tutorial actually consists of an indicator and a strategy, and I've got the indicator, in fact I've got both of them applied to a chart at the moment, and you'll see the indicator, which is which are these orange and yellow lines. We have the original line showing in the yellow, and then what I've done is created another one which is almost the same calculation but uses a slightly faster acceleration factor, and I'm using that as a way of exiting the trades. But what I've done is put both of them into the indicator. Now obviously the indicator and the strategy have got their own inputs, so if you want to use them both to get an idea of what the strategy is doing, then you'd have to make sure that the inputs are the same. So let's have a look at the strategy, and this is very simple strategy, and probably would be a good idea to also add stops, etc. to the strategy. What I've done also is I've added some filters, so to enter a trade the filters have to be true, and what I've done, I've created one example filter using the moving average gap ratio. I've just created a condition that you see here, the calculation. I won't go into the gory details, but you could modify the filters and do whatever you like. But what the guts of the program, really very simple, and all I've done is, in modifying tutorial 173, is that when the direction changes, let's go down to entries. So when the direction goes from -1 to, or rather when the direction is -1 and the previous bar it was 1, and we're not in a position and all the short filters are all true, then we sell short. And when direction equals 1 and direction last bar was -1 and we're also not in position and all the long filters are true, then we buy next bar at market. And then for the exits, what I've done is simply said if we're long and we go the close is less than the SupTrendExit, that is the line that I created with a slightly faster acceleration factor, then and we've been in the trade over a minimum number of bars, which I put in a variable called min bars, or rather an input min bars n trade, then we sell. Similarly, if we're MP market position -1 and C goes over the SupTrendExit, which again is that line with a slightly faster acceleration factor, and the bars are over the min bars n trade, then we buy to cover. Apart from that, the program is essentially exactly the same as the tutorial 173. Let's just go through and see if there's anything else worth remarking on. I mentioned the filters and I gave you an example filter there. The bars in trade, what I do is when we change position, market position is not the same as market position the previous bar, then we change bars end trade to 0, and then what we do on each bar, we increment it by 1. In that way we get an idea of how many bars we've been in a trade for. So calculation of the SuperTrend is the same as in tutorial 173, and of course also the same as in the tutorial 184 indicator that accompanies this strategy. But what is different is that I created this other, as it were, SuperTrend, which I've called SupTrendExit, and you can see the calculation of that here, and what I do when we change direction, I change SupTrendExit back to SuperTrend. You'll see here also that we're using this acceleration factor, which I've called AFXit. That is the min list of MaxAF exit, which is the maximum amount we're going to allow the acceleration factor to get to, and the AFXit plus AFStep exit. So we're adding to itself this value, which is an input which determines how quickly we increase the acceleration factor. And then we've just got the trade. So as I say, this is a draft strategy, and if you wanted to use it, then you would probably want to add obviously some filters and then a stop. Anyway, hopefully you'll find this useful. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel or whichever video service you're using, and also go to markplex.com and join the email list. Thank you.